Cheers.
Cheers. Well, it's that time again.
I'm Susan.
And I'm Annie.
And this is
Two Friends, One Chat.
Let's get clinical. Little throwback. Clinical. Come on and get clinical.
Clinical.
That's what we do. We get a little bit clinical here.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your first time joining.
Oh, if it is,
welcome.
welcome. Oh my gosh, that'd be so exciting.
That'd be crazy exciting.
Yes.
But also weird.
Weird.
To just start at a random episode?
Well, meditation's a great one to start on.
It is a good one to start on. I'm just a weirdo and have to start at episode 1 of any podcast I listen to.
Okay. You know how she listens to CDs, which if you're young, you don't even know what a CD is?
Any album.
Start to finish.
Yeah. Don't skip. It might hurt their feelings.
Oh my god.
They put that album out. That's their work. They did it for a reason. Just skip a song. I know my brain understands. My brain understands that Lizzo does not know that I skipped number 5.
Mm-hmm. But what if she
found
out?
But my heart says she knows.
I love her so much.
So listen, start to finish.
Do you know what I was just listening to on a side note before we jump in?
Yeah.
Won't you get back? Coming to the
Bruno!
stage as a girl that's new in town. Yes, I was. She goes by the name Where Your Stacks At. And I was on my little elliptical.
Ooh.
It was great. It was great. I love that song.
That's literally, okay, again, I'm making myself sound so old. That's in my CD case in my car.
Stop it.
It is. It is.
Oh, that gets me. Okay.
I have a big CD case under my bed and a little one in my car, and I wrote, it's about time to rotate it because my summer CDs are going to go away in my fall CD.
Okay, I do the same thing.
Jamie Cullum's coming out. He's in my fall collection, so.
Oh my god.
I have CDs and I'm not mad about it.
Jamie Cullum, 20-something, one of the best albums of all time.
Oh, hands down.
Oh my god.
Hands down.
Oh.
Treat yourself if you've not heard of him. Go listen.
Please.
Boy, howdy.
So worth it.
Whew.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
We digress. It is meditation week. I'm so
excited.
No.
Excited.
No.
Okay.
Annie's excited.
Oh, I'm jazzed because I think we're going to get into some really good conversation. So I'm going to give a little catch people up just in case they're
sure. Love it.
We talked about your 4 happy hormones.
Yep.
And then we did an episode on exercise because exercise was
in all of those
yes.
4. Yeah.
And meditation has come up, I think, in 3 out of the 4.
4, yeah.
And so we wanted to talk about meditation because...
Annie wanted to talk about meditation because... I love her, so I'm going to do this.
What's your reaction when I say meditation?
Oh. Big eye roll. And honestly, okay, do you want me to be serious?
Yes, I would like you to be serious.
Honestly, when people say meditation, it sparks fear and anxiety. So, of course... my social mask is to eye roll and go, right? Because then it's funny to people.
Absolutely.
But in my core, it's fear and anxiety when people say meditation.
And I'm super excited to unpack that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm not sure if we should start unpacking that first.
I don't know.
Here, let's talk a little bit about what meditation is first.
Smart.
Yeah, and then because I think that will tie into why you have this reaction to it that you have.
Agreed.
Okay, so the goal of meditation practice that's been around for thousands and thousands of years is to really focus your mind and just take a moment and focus your mind. And I think we can all imagine images that we've seen in what's the word I'm thinking of? Media and society.
Oh, just yes.
I think you touched on this on one of the episodes where you just see the person sitting perfectly still, and that's what meditation is.
They're crisscross applesauce.
Yes. Yep.
Correction. I know your father. Right.
Oh,
that's
man,
what I think of.
that brings me back.
Yeah. When he's sitting there, eyes closed. He's got his hands,
right?
Rafiki
I love that movie
on his
so
knees.
much.
Yeah.
And I think so. Yeah, we have these like very shallow images of what it is.
Yeah.
But it really is a pretty glorious mindfulness practice of push. You know, we have so many things happening at once, so many sensories, alarms going off, so many processing thoughts.
Oof.
Particularly, you know, like if you're a parent and a working parent.
Oh my goodness.
You are firing on all cylinders at all the time.
You have to. You have to. Yeah.
And so it is a way basically to, I would say, I don't want to say shut off your brain.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus it. Yeah.
And maybe lessen its, you know, like bring it down from firing at all cylinders.
Like lessen the inputs coming in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might be a better way to describe it. And you can do this in a million different ways.
Yeah.
You can focus on a story. There are, you can YouTube guided meditations. You can do it by sitting in silence.
Yeah.
A big tip people will say is focus on your breath. You can, again, guided meditations can be super helpful. So you don't have to rely, because to go from living in our sensory and experiencing the sensory things that we do to isolating yourself in a room where you're not hearing or feeling or seeing anything and expecting your brain to just be able to turn off.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. That's
right.
This, you know, so I really do believe in guided meditation. Sometimes you need to do grounding exercises first, kind of like coping before you care, right?
Yeah.
You're going to need to ground yourself to get ready to meditate, right?
Okay.
So it is a process to reach that mind peacefulness where your mind and your body really do work together, and it takes a tremendous amount of focus.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very short intro.
Okay.
Into meditation, and I do highly encourage people to practice it. But I would love to jump into your guttural reaction.
My reaction.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I do want to just, before I jump in, say that I liked how you said that meditation is a practice of mindfulness. I completely agree that I think mindfulness is a bigger picture.
Absolutely.
Concept, and meditation is one of the ways to achieve mindfulness.
I agree.
And I think we interchange those two words a lot, and we shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think we should recognize the difference in those. Anyway, okay, so in my head, meditation, like you're saying, is about calming, focusing, quieting the brain. Mm-hmm. I think my issues obviously come from past traumas, in particularly the death of my sister, and it was obviously any death is traumatic, but what happened is also traumatic, and we don't need to go into actually what happened. But for me, when I attempt most mindfulness practices, but especially meditative practices, as I start to quiet my mind, that trauma rushes in.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just like, one more input of something coming in. It's like, it feels like, she's quieted everything else enough that I get to come back in and take over. So it actually turns into a very traumatic event for me.
Yeah, like a reliving almost.
Yes.
Wow.
When I attempt, like, quieting of the mind. It's actually very terrifying for me. It'll throw me into a spin for days.
Oh my gosh.
Takes me a while to kind of get back out of that funk when I do it. So, and I think people, and if my coworkers listen, they'll know.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes at mindfulness all the time. But I think it's just now been talking to you that I've kind of actually admitted it's not I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely terrified of it. And it just comes across as, oh, I hate stupid mindfulness.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I know it works for people, but the idea of it is very, like, I'm feeling anxious right now just talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting, like, description that you're giving, because in doing some of the research we were, doing together for this episode, it's so fascinating because there's a huge host of, they're like, mindfulness, some doctors think that meditation has yet to be proven to have health results. Other doctors are like, it's proven in all of these things, and there's cancer on the list, not just mental health.
Lose your blood pressure, and all those things.
All those things, and then it's
I think it does for a lot of people.
Absolutely, no question. I am a full believer in it, but I think, and then there's a bottom one that's like, hey, for some mental health issues, this is gonna make it a lot worse. Yeah. It said that a lot more professionally, as
articles do.
As articles do, correct. And I think that we've really, I have so many thoughts. I've never heard you articulate it that way before.
I don't think I ever have. So this is kind of a first time for me.
Yeah. And I have, like, so many thoughts. Like, some are, like, friendship thoughts, and some of them are, like, clinical thoughts. You know how, like, we have that, like, it's, which I really enjoy. So I think, like, on a friendship level, I just think, well, of course, never try mindfulness again. Like, I don't want anything to ever hurt you, right?
Right.
Like,
which is kind of where I'm at right now. I just don't.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. Like, pass.
Yeah. No, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you're not alone, right? I'm sure that there are people that are listening that are like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
And in that case, don't, right?
Right.
But I do think my clinician side thinks, okay, could you possibly be, and these are like, we can cut all this out, right? Framed questions, but like, are you using like outside stimulation? And because you are very busy, probably one of the most driven people I've ever met, and just always doing things for other people. Now you're starting to incorporate and do it for yourself too, which I love. Oh my God, so proud. But could some of that be so that you don't have to like be,
Yeah, so I don't have to like process the trauma.
Well, I don't want to say process, because can you ever really process? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think I think
like avoid it. Am I doing that to avoid it?
Well, I don't know.
Not the right word either.
I don't know. I mean, I guess not what I'm trying to articulate, because I would never consider you someone who would avoid it.
Yeah.
But I think probably, this is how I'll frame it.
Okay.
Or try to articulate it, and it might come out weird, but I would be worried that you don't have a peaceful place within yourself.
Oh.
Does that make sense? And maybe I just don't get it. Like,
no, I think you are 100% right.
Okay.
That there's always a very scary, traumatized chunk of me going at all times. Wow. For sure.
That must be exhausting.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm so tired all the time.
Seriously.
Yeah. And because I definitely think I don't, well, I mean, on some levels am I avoiding? Sure. But I've also done a lot of work around, I've done counseling and I've done the processing. I don't think I'm ignoring it.
I don't either.
I just think it's so traumatic. Yeah. And I feel like I've processed her being gone better than the trauma of her death, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the piece I think that still is and probably will always just be a thing. I don't know that you ever completely get over something like that.
No,
so.
You absolutely cannot. Do you feel comfortable sharing with the listeners, like, the... because I actually do not think you avoid it at all. I think you've done a really beautiful job of, even in the last couple of years, you talked about her, not just her passing, right? Like, even today at lunch, it was awesome. You were talking about, like, her, you're like, oh, man, she got, like, all the weird illnesses, and it was sweet, really and did. It was actually beautiful.
Yeah.
But, so I would never put you in the avoidant category, but I am wondering,
just share the trauma a little bit, like a brief synopsis of it?
I think, and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but I love I processed her not being here anymore, right?
Oh, sure.
But the instance in how she passed is...
Oh, yes. I'll do a brief, and we'll go hardcore into it, and obviously there's lots of pieces that we won't go into at all. My sister had a really bad headache for like a couple weeks, and we'd taken her to the emergency room multiple times, and they just kept saying it's a migraine. She's just got to get through this cycle of it, and they did scans, and she just kept getting so bad that we brought her home to my parents' house, and my mom had stayed with her half the night, and then early in the morning I kind of took over to kind of help her out and whatever we could do. At that point she ended up having a seizure, which I was there for and saw, and then she stopped breathing, so I tried to provide life-saving measures. I watched the cops and the paramedics try to provide care for her, and they ended up getting her heart started again. We went to our local emergency room and then got sent to the neuro ICU up at OHSU. I think logically I knew she was gone at the first emergency room, but it's so there's, I think, just trauma alone in doing life-saving measures to anyone.
Yeah. But
then to a loved one.
Yeah.
Because I watched my dad pass as well, but that was like a normal hospice.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't find any trauma around that passing at all, actually.
Yeah.
So I really have come to terms, and it took a long time to come to terms that I don't have my sister, right? Like, there's that piece. And of course I still get sad that she's not here and won't be around, but I don't feel trauma around that anymore. It's just like the traumatic event of her passing, and that's what comes immediately back in. Mm-hmm. As soon as I start trying to quiet my mind or body, it's like a video that just gets that someone hits play and it's at full volume, and there's just no stopping it, and that's why it takes like at least a week to like put it back in its little box.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, rewind, close it, be kind, rewind. That's what I'm sorry, there's nothing
close
funny
that
in
little
it.
box. I can see the sticker on the box though. Yes.
Oh man. So that is such an articulate way. And you know what? I am wondering, as you're describing that, have you ever done EMDR?
Mm-mm.
Because so this, do you know a lot about EMDR?
I know about it.
It's fascinating to me. I kind of think it's like almost witch science. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
But for some people, and I think, I don't want to assign any level of intelligence, but I think the higher level of intelligence you have, I think the deeper you feel trauma, because you can remember it and you have these abilities to almost like, and so it helps your body, like it helps sides of your brain literally talk to each other.
Right.
Basically so you don't feel it as intensely as you're feeling it every time you remember the trauma. Like physically.
Oh, right.
And I haven't tried it either, but my LICSW supervisor, the second one I had, she was getting trained in it, and so we were, she would tell me all about the class. It was very fascinating.
I love it.
Even she joked like this is like witch science. Like I don't even know what's going on here.
So
and that's the thing is it does work. So I'm wondering if that, and maybe it won't help, but and another thing about EMDR, very interesting. You need to be in a good spot personally for it to be positive and effective. It, like other tools, can sometimes have not as good of an effect.
Sure.
So like things that are important is like stability.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much true for every therapy, right? If you're unstable, like in like your living situation, or you have you're gonna come home to a partner that's really harsh on you.
It's Maslow's hierarchy.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I can't get up here if I don't feel safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said. So I'm wondering if that. want to look more into that, actually.
That's interesting.
It's super expensive to get trained in it, though. It's like...
Yeah, I
think it's like $20,000.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
The
good stuff costs.
Anyway, that being said, let's not do meditation for you.
No meditation for me.
Yeah, let's hold off, because your articulation is so well done as far as like explaining how you're feeling in those moments. It's really powerful.
Oh.
Yeah. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
okay.
I don't know if that's a compliment. I mean, I don't know.
I do definitely see the benefit of meditation for some people. Yeah. And even what I call active mindfulness for myself around my anxiety. I have never used it for my trauma. Yeah. But just my general kind of anxiety. I've used what I call active mindfulness.
Well, this sounds juicy.
Well, we've touched on it before. The diamond painting, which I have not done in a very long time. Like, those sorts of things that, like, it doesn't feel like I'm quieting my mind, because my mind has to physically be
engaged.
Okay. And doing something.
Yes.
But all of the focus goes to that thing, so the rest quiets down.
I love that.
Yeah.
I wonder if you scientifically get the same dopamine payout as someone doing meditation.
I don't yet. That'd be interesting.
I know. I wish I had $1 million in Consider Brains, because I would bet in some capacity you absolutely are. You know?
You would think so.
Yeah.
I don't feel good when I'm done, but I feel the benefit of calming that anxiety in the moment. Like, I feel like it's doing what it's supposed to, but it's not like, oh my god, I feel amazing now. Okay. It's just like, okay, I got through that anxiety. Interesting. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes. No, I'm definitely. And I'm wondering, too, like, I'm trying to think of times that I've done mindfulness. I don't feel like meditation. I don't feel like maybe I do kind of actually feel pretty good afterwards. The times that I do meditation are primarily around yoga. Okay. And in that case, I think it is somewhat like your active mindfulness, because it is easier for me, because I'm just going to fall asleep if I try. I'm just going to make a naughty joke if I try to, like, raw dog meditation. I love sleep, you guys. I love it so much. So for me, mindfulness usually has to have some kind, meditation has to have some kind of physical component. Okay. Plus, it's super easy to do guided meditations and yoga videos, because it's like... and by the way, I know that there's, like, yoga videos that are intense workouts. Mine are, like, glorified stretching. And I love it. There's a chair involved in mine. Some of it you just do sitting.
You just sit? Okay.
It's awesome, though.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think actually, genuinely, I do get a little burst of feeling better afterwards. Oh. Not like, not like, everything's amazing. But I can tell the difference in my day. Like, I feel level and...
In your day?
Yeah, oh yes. Yeah. And things just don't really bother me as much. Same if I go on a long run.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. The long run is really important to me. Like, that will... Pretty much nothing phases me then. Okay. Like, things that would really irritate me, I'm like, whatever.
Because I feel like the times I do active mindfulness... or exercise, or whatever it is, I feel like, well, like I said before, like, I feel like, okay, it got me through that moment, but I don't know that I feel lasting long-term effects from it. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, it makes a difference in my day, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, yeah, I can tell the difference now. If I don't practice something like that, and if I don't exercise, I am external stimuli that's like, it's not a preferred activity of mine, like a mean email, or like I get pissed, like so mad. Now, but then if I practice mindfulness, or if I am accessing meditation, and certainly I would say active mindfulness is a huge one for me too. Completely different day.
Do you feel when you do meditation like you've got to like fight stuff off? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know exactly what you're saying. I think prior to taking a psychotropic medication, I'm on sertraline. I definitely did. I couldn't have meditated, actually. I couldn't do anything without, like, spiraling.
Oh, okay.
But after taking... I don't think it's just the antidepressant, either. I think it's kind of a host of factors. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think having a partner I'm healthily attached to, having a career I'm really proud of. There was just a lot of things I think that contributed. So now, no.
Okay.
Unless there's some weird event or I'm in conflict with someone. That's very different.
Sure.
But mostly...
That's situational.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do not have the, like, trauma memories that come up like you do. Yeah. Wow. Definitely not. In fact, I don't even... Yeah. I very, very rarely have any kind of level of reminder or flashback or anything.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like I also don't have a super great memory, so I'm not sure if that's like my mind being like...
You know what? That is serving you well right now, so applause to that.
You're not wrong. Oh my gosh.
Gotta find that strength-based positive.
Totally. It's so interesting how brains work, though, because, I mean, it is, you know, the fact that yours plays like a video, start to finish, that is really intense. Like, I mean, that can't...
And it's a vivid video.
Oh,
it's
man.
not...
I'm so sorry.
It's not like a flash here and that. I mean, like, it really does feel like someone hits play.
Wow.
And it's at full volume, and I'm just done for.
Oh my God.
I'm just done for.
I mean, have you ever been diagnosed with PTSD?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Because, I mean, you're hitting, like, all the markers for
PTSD?
Yeah. So, because, man, that's just so interesting. Also terrible. I don't know why interesting's the first
No,
word.
it is. No, I mean, just
clinically interesting.
Brains are interesting.
Terrible. Like, you know.
Brains are crazy interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really are powerful.
Yeah.
But that is, no, I don't think about other things. Like, I really can zone out. Like, really.
Wow.
Just, yeah, I mean, but you know me. I also, like, disassociation might be, like, you know, like...
Yeah.
So I can imagine I'm anywhere at any time. I just, that I think is definitely a huge gift for me.
Yeah.
That ability to just, I'm going to listen to headphones and imagine I'm an action hero for a little bit.
And you do.
I 100%
and you love
do.
it.
I mean, like a lot of times. I'm like,
That's
I'm going to go to bed.
That's a beautiful gift.
What do I want to pretend, like, what do I want to think about when I go to bed? I get, like, excited about it. None of it's reality, FYI. I mean, people are...
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, oh, man. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That is the opposite.
Sometimes when I can't fall asleep, I just get excited that I get to think about stuff more.
Oh, we have very different... feelings about going to sleep.
I recognize that that's a huge privilege because sleep is, we all know, huge to your mental health. Like almost everything centralizes around that time, and for a lot of people, getting sleep is super difficult.
Yeah.
Falling asleep, staying asleep, getting sleep that's relaxing, getting like... Yeah. But I'm really fortunate. Yeah. Very fortunate. What's sleep like for you?
Not great.
Just so you guys know, my dog's scratching,
So just be mindful of the noise. Focus on the noise. Let everything else go.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Oh, you're so cute. I love you so much.
Oh, he is He is the sweetest pea, you guys.
I think, lifelong wise, I'm a terrible sleeper. I had night terrors growing up. Sleep's always been an issue.
Do you remember your night terrors?
There are particular dreams I remember having.
Yeah.
After kind of my night terror years.
Okay.
But I don't actually remember my night terrors that supposedly would get me up and run me around the house.
Whoa.
Serious night terrors.
Yeah.
Screaming bloody murder.
Oh.
So I don't remember any of that piece, but even after that was more like a little kid, early grade school, then early grade school through junior high. I definitely have very vivid memories of particular dreams that would play over and over and over and over and over again.
That's so interesting.
And they were all bad.
Damn.
They're all scary and bad. I've never had good, happy dreams.
Wow. That's nuts. I have, I've definitely had scary dreams, but I also have, cool, weird dreams, all the time, and,
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What? Oh, I had a dream that I was in Apex Legends. It's a silly video game I love playing.
Yeah.
And that was just an awesome dream, and even when I was a kid, I had scary dreams, but then I would have a reoccurring dream, and the place was always different, but I knew it was the same place.
Yeah. And
my brother and I were there, and it was just safe and awesome. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
See, my reoccurring dream is I'm teeny tiny.
Interesting.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah.
And either stuck outside of a wood cabin.
Oh, no.
And about to get stomped on.
Yeah.
Or I'm teeny tiny and stuck in a room with no windows, no doors. Just a big white room and I can't get out.
Ooh. That is creepy as hell. It's really funny that you say that.
Brain.
About white, though. The scariest dream I've ever had has the color white as a dominant, terrifying factor.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. I don't know how I got there, but it was like a Chuck E. Cheese, but the mouse was super creepy and in a lab coat.
Yeah.
And all the kids were in white gowns, and the floor was all white, and they were strapping kids to the beds, and I knew that we were all gonna die. It was terrifying.
Oh my goodness!
It was super scary. Yeah.
I absolutely love and hate the brain.
Oh, it's awesome.
Because it is
amazing.
we have no idea what the brain's capable of.
Yeah.
It does amazing things. And I really think it is so powerful, and we're not harnessing it personally enough for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why I even understand and believe in and totally get mindfulness and meditation.
Yeah.
And I think it can and does do wonders for people.
Yeah.
Because the brain is so ridiculously amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mine's just a little warped. We'll get there.
Yeah. And how fun is it to get to explore that together? It's really cool.
Yeah.
But also to help normalize, because I bet for a lot of people they're having, maybe not a ton, but I know people listening are having a similar experience. And maybe they weren't able to connect prior that this has to do with trauma and
and that's why they struggle with
so I think that's helpful.
Well, you're not alone. Listener, if you were one of those people, you are not alone.
Normalizing trauma for people is really helpful, I think.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to lessen in that normalizing.
No.
But to normalize the effects, trauma can be anything to anyone, right? That's what we know. People can go through the same experience, and some have a traumatic response and some don't.
Some don't, yep.
I need you to know that you have one or you don't, that you are both awesome people.
Both are okay.
Both totally positive.
Yes.
And also honor that, because although trauma looks different for a lot of people, tons of the physical symptoms are the same.
Yes, regardless of just because we have different traumas.
Yep.
That might appear at different levels.
Yes.
They still could affect us.
Yes.
The same. Yeah.
Yes. And and we'll do an episode on symptoms of trauma and how to look for that and how to ways to work through that, different therapies, all of that. We'll do that down the road. But I think that this was a really I don't know. I feel like this was a really helpful episode to me, and I really think I got more of a glimpse into understanding, you know, the truth of why you don't like mindfulness.
The reality of my dislike.
And who wouldn't dislike it?
I think honestly, today is the first time I recognize I don't funny hate mindfulness and meditation. It's a fear-based.
Yeah.
So that was big for me. So thank you for letting me kind of recognize that piece. That's obviously some work I'm going to have to do with myself now. But
I just appreciate, and I know I've said this before, but I think, you know, the goal of our podcast is to reach people in a way that'll help them understand themselves more. And, you know, and I think that one of the most amazing things that you bring to the table is you are so honest and open and just, I mean, you are really and articulate. So anyway, I just think it's so fun to have you. Yeah.
Well, it's easy to do when you have someone like you to talk to. You know what I mean? Because there's no judging and no...
Oh, God, no.
Like, you are a safe person to talk to and explore and figure out what those things are. Yeah. So thank you.
Oh, my gosh. I love this podcast so much.
I think at the end of the day...
Hi,
Alice!
Do you love it too, buddy?
He loves mindfulness as well. I think the goal for me at the end of the day with today's discussion is meditation and mindfulness are legit.
Definitely.
So just like everything else, you gotta try stuff and experiment.
I love that.
Just because standard meditation doesn't work for you doesn't mean you just give it up.
Yeah.
And I gave everything up for a long time, and I just very recently slowly started adding active mindfulness in.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep trying stuff. Keep seeing what works, because again, like every episode, we're just putting tools in your tool belt, cart, whatever you want to carry them in, right?
Bandolier.
Bandolier. Just try stuff. And it might work, might not. Try something else. Just do it.
Have a good safety circle so you can talk about what worked and what didn't. That's always really helpful, right?
No, it's so true.
# throwback. Debrief.
It's so true. You gotta debrief your stuff. Yeah. What worked, what didn't, why do you think that, you know, what parts can you pull from it?
Because you could try mindfulness and have the reaction you had. Like, it could actually be traumatic.
For you, yes.
Yeah. Just, I want people to feel honored in that. And, like, that is a true and real experience. And so that's why, you know, especially when you get into anything pursuits of mental health, it's super helpful to have a safe space where you can say, hey, I tried this and it was awesome, or I tried this and it was really bad and all I thought about was my past trauma and I'm never doing it again. Never do that again.
Great. Now I know.
Oh, well, on that
note. You live and you learn.
You live, you learn. Well, that was a fun one. That was a deep. We got deep. Sorry, friends. I'm so happy you came along with us.
Thank you.
I don't know why I apologized. I didn't mean to apologize. No, but
that's what we do here.
Yeah.
We get deep.
We
laugh.
A lot.
Both.
Oh, well, have a wonderful evening.
Atlas says have a wonderful
evening,
day. Morning.
And we will see you next week. Take care.
Yes, please take care. We love you.
Bye. Bye.